Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks. It's the Big 12 Conference on ESPN, and it's the Mariachi Pumas of the University of Houston. That's how you get ready for Friday night and prime time. Coach Prime feels he's got his version of Rudy at quarterback for Colorado, but Houston tight end Tanner Koziol is a problem for defenses. Welcome to H-Town for the Big 12 opener between Colorado and Houston. And Shroff, you know Andre Ware. This is the house that Andre built. Former Heisman Trophy winner at the University of Houston. You've had a busy week because you didn't get on a plane. Right. Deion Sanders had a busy week because he had to go from 3 quarterbacks against Delaware to 1, but he's found his guy.
Yeah, he's found his guy, and Ryan Staub is a guy that is no stranger to this program. Kind of stuck it out. He's been the caddy for Shedeur Sanders for the last 2 years. He knows this offense inside and out. They can execute with him. What Prime was looking for was a leader at the quarterback position. He provides that, and everybody in their locker room, Anish, believes they can win with Ryan Staub.
Colorado imported a big-time transfer in Caden Salter and a 5-star in Juju Lewis. It's QB3, Ryan Staub, who's now QB1. Meanwhile, for Houston, Willie Fritz, their second-year head coach, went into the portal, found some impact players on offense, including maybe the best tight end in America.
Yeah, he's their top weapon offensively, a guy that just finds the football. He had more contested catches, 26 to be exact, than any other tight end in the country. Made his way to Houston, where this is a tight end heavy offense. It's a perfect match for the Cougars with Tanner Koziol checking in at tight end.
First meeting between these two since the 1971 Blue Bonnet Bowl in the old Astrodome. Big 12 opener between Colorado and Houston. The Buffaloes have Ryan Staub making his second career start at quarterback, and with more on him, here's Paul Carcaterra.
You know, Anish, coming into the season, it seemed like Colorado had only 2 options at quarterback. Liberty transfer, Caden Salter, and freshman phenom, the 5-star Juju Lewis. Ryan Staub was the forgotten guy. Unless you asked him or anyone tied to the program, the belief was there. Staub, the redshirt sophomore, was just a 3-star recruit with only a couple of Power 4 offers. He learned under Shedeur Sanders and had to face the first-team defense day after day, and he never flinched. I spoke to right guard Zylan Chrysler, and he told me Staub has a great connection with his offensive line. He's got that quiet dog in him. He's ultra-competitive and goes about his business, making those daily deposits. Coach Prime said last night to us, nobody watches more film than Staub, and Anish, belief is a powerful thing.
What did Deion Sanders call him after the game last week when Staub told the field reporter after the game that he never stopped believing? He had a dream. Deion said, Martin Luther Staub.
That's exactly how he described him. Said he was a worker and a dog, and that's what he wanted. He wanted a leader for this football team. Every guy in that locker room believes in him. Clark mentioned watching film. Twice as much as the next guy. He's turning in those hours every single week. Knows this offense like the back of his hand.
Houston won the toss, selected to defer, so Colorado will receive. Zach Yoakum, he is related to Dwight, will kick it away. And the Buffs will bring it out to the 25-yard line. So Ryan Staub making his second career start. Backed up Shedeur Sanders the last 2 seasons. Didn't play a whole lot, but had a start 2 years ago against Utah. They really praised his preparation, his knowledge of the offense. And Andre, I've heard you say this many times, the locker room determines the quarterback.
Yeah,
this team is rallying around him.
That's exactly right. Last week after he was called up to get a game ball, that locker room went absolutely crazy. The team will choose the quarterback both offensively and on defense. It's not the coaching staff.
Deion Sanders told us they want to get him some early throws, get him into a rhythm. On first down, the handoff goes to Micah Welch, who gets mauled by Eddie Walls. It's a TFL, a loss of 2. And this Colorado run game, which has been better the first 2 games than the last 2 years, off to a tough start on the road.
Yeah, Eddie Walls is an experienced player, has started 32 games or played in 32 games at FIU and has played some really good football the first 2 weeks for this Cougar defense.
Welch goes wide on a quick slant. That's Joseph Williams, slipped the first tackle. And he's going to set up a third and about 2 as we look at impact players built by the Home Depot.
Yeah, for Colorado, Sincere Brown is a big receiver that they like on the outside, especially when they get down close to the red zone. And trying to stop the run all day is going to be Carlos Allen Jr. He's a big bully inside that's hard to push around the line of scrimmage.
Injured player for Houston before this third down.
And it's our guy, our impact player, Carlos Allen. So hopefully he'll be able to get himself back in this ball game.
Last week in the win against Rice, 9 tackles against what was a very run-heavy Rice offense.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about guys that fight inside. They need a guy like Carlos Allen Jr. to sit in there, win at the line of scrimmage, and kind of stop or get a hold on this running game for Colorado.
So with Allen out, let's see if Colorado decides to try the A-gap here on 3rd and 2. Miles Parker checking in for Allen. They run it right up the middle. And they saw the weakness and they attacked it. It's a first down run for Michael Welch.
Yeah, Brennan Mack, the second, he had an opportunity to bring him down in the backfield. Just lets him slip through, and see what Welch does a nice job of keeping his feet moving through the hole to pick up the first down. Cougars just can't afford Anish to get hit over the top for a big play here early in the ball game. Force Ryan Staub to drive the length of the field.
2 running backs in for Colorado, DeKalen Taylor and Simeon Price, and it's Price who battering rams his way to the 39-yard line, a gain of about 3. Second and 7.
Yeah, the thing you're going to see from both defenses, a lot of man-to-man and a lot of bodies in the box to stop the run, especially when the Cougars get the ball, and Colorado's on defense gave up a little bit, actually a lot, between the 2 tackles.
Colorado feels it is vastly improved on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Leon called it the best O-line he's had in his 3 years in Boulder. Staub able to find a man over the middle. Draylen Miller into Houston territory. He's kind of their Debo Samuel, bigger receiver, lines up everywhere.
And he just finds a hole in the zone. We just talked about man-to-man. The one time that they go to zone, Staub's able to find his receiver, pick up a first down. This guy knows this offense, and the receivers run routes for him with urgency.
Again, the two-back look, a little RPO. That's Sincere Brown. Stopped in his tracks, a gain of 2. Latrell McCutcheon, one of Houston's top defensive players, and certainly their top corner, made the tackle.
Yeah, he's their top cover man, and they think he has an NFL future. The guy the last couple weeks, he left last week's game with a wrist injury, but he was able to come back. He's a go today. 11 tackles a week ago as a cornerback.
And a lot of those were near the line of scrimmage, not in the secondary. Remember, Rice, a run-heavy offense that Houston faced. Cougars 2-0, Colorado 1-1.
Here comes the blitz.
Staub pumps, finding Welch. He's in an ambush, and he loses yards. That's going to set up a 3rd and 12. A loss of 4. It's Walls and Carlos Allen back in the game for Houston.
Yeah, they got pressure from the secondary. Mark Stampley, the second, he gets to Staub, and it just kind of threw the timing of everything off. The ball didn't come out on time. It allowed the Cougars to rally up, but they've been in 3rd down situations a couple of times during this possession, and it's allowed Colorado to pick up the first down because of Ryan Staub.
Omarion Miller lined up at the top of your screen. He's back. Missed last week's game with a hamstring. He's got the most upside of all the receivers.
Loading up again at the line of scrimmage.
And a timeout. Colorado into Houston territory. They'll face a 3rd and long when we get back. Deion Sanders in his third season at Colorado. Willie Fritz in season 2 at Houston. Fritz has won everywhere he's coached.
Yeah.
Deion's whole life has been one big success after another.
Deion's just getting started, and he's been successful in year 2 at Colorado. Not a lot of guys walking around with 253 wins in their back pocket like Coach Fritz.
3rd down and 12 for Ryan Staub, who a week ago was the 3rd string QB. Time in the pocket, rifles one too low. Omarion Miller, it's 4th down, and here comes the punt team. You think about this Colorado offense, Andre. A year ago, you had Shedeur Sanders, not only Travis Hunter, but 4 wide receivers who made an NFL 53-man roster. This is an offense still finding its identity.
Yeah, 3rd and 12 last year was nothing for Colorado's offense. So you had playmakers, guys with speed, just natural ability, still trying to find their footing, and who's going to be that kind of bring that type of excitement to the offense.
David Greaves, who averaged 50 yards a punt on 5 kicks last week. This is a good one, and it takes a Colorado bounce inside the 5. Deion Sanders loves his special teams unit, especially his kicking game.
No doubt. He covers kicks during the week with his cover teams, and that's how he keeps himself in such great shape. But a nice job by Colorado down in this thing about the 3-yard line or so to pin the Cougars way back. And Connor Wigman making his way to the field.
Connor Wigman came to Texas A&M originally as the #1 pocket passer out of high school, had some injuries there, lost his job last year, transferring to Houston in the offseason, closer to his home of Cypress, Texas. And on 1st down, he hands it off to the Rice transfer Dean Connors, who gives this Houston offense some much-needed breathing room.
And that's what we talked about a little earlier. Let's watch the film on this. When the Cougars played when Georgia Tech played Colorado, and they had success running between the tackles, basically right between the 2 guards. They were able to move bodies and have a great deal of success doing so.
Connors ran for 132 yards last week against his old team. He gets it out of the backfield. 1st down and more. He's got that elusive speed, according to the coaches, out to the 27-yard line, a gain of 16.
Well, you want to load the box inside. We're just going to swing it out to the flat to Dean Connors. It's the same exact philosophy that Georgia Tech took against this Colorado defense. They started packing inside to help defend the run inside. It was speed sweeps and zone, actually tunnel screens on the outside.
Colorado shows blitz into the belly of Connors, who picks up about a yard. It's a running back room that's been a bit depleted. Season-ending injury to Rayshawn Sanford. Jamarian Burnett, their big power back, out this week. But Connors has sort of taken advantage, and he's become the lead guy here in the early going.
Tell you what, when they get Burnett back, the 2, Connors and Burnett, that running game's going to be almost unstoppable.
Off play action, Wigman chased by Wade. And for a guy who's billed as a pocket passer, you see enough of that to call him a dual threat.
He is a better runner than you might think, and he's shown it on film the last couple of weeks. It's enough to force you to play 11 on 11, and he's going to have runs like that at times during this game because you forget his ability to pull it down and make plays with his legs.
Had a rushing touchdown last week. Now 3rd and short. Stacy Snead, the running back. Koziel 9 in red, their #1 pass target. That's who they go to on 3rd down. They say he's there, Kelsey. 6'7" tight end who had 94 catches at Ball State last year.
And he's able to find a hole in the zone where Colorado's trying to play zone coverage. Just hook up, show that 9 to Connor Wigman, and Wigman delivers it right on time for a 1st down.
Koziel more than 40% of the team's catches here in the first 2+ games. Play action. Wigman off his back foot, dangerous throw.
What a catch.
And coming back to make the catch is Amari Thomas.
But he's working against arguably one of their best cover man in Preston Hodge. They really like him. Coach Prime spent a great deal of time last night talking about him. He slips down in coverage, and that allows Thomas to come open.
A gain of 22. Wigman, another shot play for the end zone. Incomplete.
It's got a flag, though.
Stephon Johnson was the target with Makari Vickers in coverage.
And that's going to be interference against Colorado, so. Actually, it's a mouthpiece in the end zone. Who's wearing a yellow mouthpiece that's coming off?
A long incompletion, 2nd and 10. Vickers made his season debut last Saturday, just 6 months after undergoing heart surgery. Quarterback draw.
Great play.
Blown up in the backfield by Tavian Coleman.
That transfer started his career at Utah State, transferred to Texas State, and is good in run support. He's pretty good inside pass rusher as well. He's got 3 sacks. 30 starts to his credit, but he's a pretty good inside pass rusher as well at times.
9th play of the drive, which started at the Houston 3. 4-man rush, edge pressure, Wigman's throw incomplete. Alexander McPherson, freshman, applying the heat.
Along with London Merritt, and just forced the ball out of the hands of Connor Wigman. They've got a lineman down. David and Duquay is down for the Cougars. Big senior transfer from Western Kentucky. Looks like, just see what happened here. A lineman, one of the defensive linemen for Colorado, Alexander McPherson, it's called, kind of falls into the back of the leg of Ndukwe.
We will step aside. 4th and 10, Houston. 6:48 to go, opening quarter.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
It is a star-studded coaching staff for Deion Sanders. Marshall Faulk added this year to coach the running backs. Warren Sapp coaching the D linemen. Deion telling us, hey, he likes pros. They're about players. Sometimes he said guys who've only coached in college get too caught up in scheme.
Yeah, they're scheme heavy, and pro coaches understand the game is still about players. And one of those players is receiver coach over at Colorado, roaming the sidelines somewhere close to Coach Prime. Old teammate of mine, Jason Phillips.
Meanwhile, for Houston, David Ndukwe will get carted off. So this was a Houston offense that came into the game not having their normal starting right tackle, Dalton Merriman, and Ndukwe got the start at one of the tackle spots. So now you're down two of your top three tackles, and we might have to see Cedric Melton, who was the fourth guy in that depth chart, and they have to move some pieces around on that offensive line. This is a significant loss early in the game for Houston.
Yeah, it's just, you just hate to see this. No matter what teams are playing, you hope to just, go in, compete, everybody come out of the thing healthy, but injuries, as they say, are just kind of part of the game.
Meanwhile, Ethan Sanchez will come on for a 52-yard attempt. 1 for 3 in his career from 50 plus. This one shy of his career long. And Sanchez with enough leg to get it over from 52.
I mean, and it barely got over. What a gamble by Coach Fritz, because he could have punted. The way his defense is playing here early in this ball game. Punt, pin Colorado back. Guy's only making, Staub's only making his second start of his career. But hey, he's got confidence in his kicker, and it worked out with Sanchez.
We've got an SEC triple header on ABC tomorrow. Number 19, Alabama, home for Wisconsin.
That's going to be a ball game.
Well, Pete Thamel, our good buddy earlier this week, reported that Billy Edwards, the Wisconsin quarterback, unlikely with a knee sprain, so Danny O'Neal likely to start again. Georgia has been able to put the shackles on Tennessee's offense of late. They have won 8 straight in that series, and then big week for Florida and Billy Napier coming off the loss to USF.
Huge week for Florida going into Death Valley to take on the Tigers. Tall order, but I think he'll have them ready. Just don't know if they can get to the finish line in Baton Rouge.
Great quarterback matchup there, Lagway and Nussmeier. Gibson's going to run this out. Accelerates across the 20. Pinballs off one Cougar. And finally stood up at the 30-yard line. Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback for LSU. Some say he might be one of the top QBs taken in the 2026 NFL draft.
Forget that about that whole deal with how important the number 18 is to the LSU program. He switched from 13 to 18, still kind of throwing me a little bit. But boy, has he had a nice run. 16 career starts, 200 yards passing in each. It's the 3rd longest active FBS streak, and they're winning some ball games now.
Second to drive now for Ryan Staub and his Colorado offense. Not much running room for DeKalen Taylor.
Well, I tell you what, they are playing the run, stacking the line of scrimmage and winning at the point of attack, getting pretty good push by Lowfowl, the defensive tackle, junior tackle out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Came over from Washington State. He was the top-graded interior D lineman in the Big 12 last week. Out of the backfield, here is Taylor. Perimeter block from his tight end, Atkins. DeKalen Taylor was Incarnate Word's leading rusher last year. 2 years ago, he was a slot wide receiver.
Yeah.
Gives you that added dimension as a receiver in the backfield.
Well, when he checks in the game, you better keep an eye on him or have somebody spying where he's going, because he's an excellent receiver, as you just talked about, out of Longview, Texas.
Incomplete, intended for Draylon Miller. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Let's see what Coach Prime elects to do here. He had success punting the football and pinning the Cougars down deep inside their own 5-yard line. They're going to elect to do the same here and punt it and play defense.
So it will be Damon Greaves again, who Dion calls Mate 2. He's an Australian. The original mate was another Australian punter he had, Mark Bassett. Mackay Muse, dangerous return man, but signals for a fair catch at the 20-yard line. 41-yard kick, no return. Cougars with the lead and the ball. Willie Fritz usually makes that jump after his first season, whether it was at Blinn Junior College, Division II, Central Missouri, Sam Houston, Georgia Southern, Tulane. Guy has won and won big everywhere, but it's now a reconfigured offensive line for Houston. Cedric Melton takes over at right tackle after David Ndukwe was carted off on the last series. First down, they run on the right side. Wigman into the open field. It's a foot race. And finally forced out by Carter Stoutmeyer.
Just got to tuck that baby and not look back. It slows you down. But everybody thought Dean Connors was getting the football. Connor Wigman takes off, hides it well and gets tracked down not until he gets to about the 30-yard line of the Buffaloes.
That's a run of 49. Take that, pocket passer. That's Dean Connors, plural, and he rumbles to the 25-yard line.
Keep an eye, though, on the right side of the offensive line for the University of Houston. Cedric Melton's in, the guy from Ole Miss. They're going to try him in passing situations. He's going to see the best from this Colorado defense. We would pick on guys if they were new coming in the game. In the secondary, it's true for offensive linemen as well.
On second down, safety blitz. Wigman throwing on the run, incomplete. Good coverage downfield, and it brings up third down.
Pretty good job with pressure coming off the corner. And Wigman escaping. He is really showing me that he's got some talent with his legs, the mobility in which to move out of harm's way, and the smarts to throw the ball away. He has yet to throw an interception in this season. Started the game 3 for 3. He's missed on his last 3 throws.
Stephon Johnson, the motion man. Pocket collapsing. Wigman throws downfield. Complete to Thomas. First and goal, Houston. Flag back near the 40.
Not sure what this is, but I tell you what, buying time and doing a heck of a job in doing so was Wigman, and then just kind of floated one up for Amari Thomas, who's been big so far in this game here early.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 27. After business to the goal, at the end of the play.
Gonna add a little more to it, Anish. We'll see the tail end of this thing coming off. I think it's Keaton Wade with a little shot at the end of that on Wigman that the officials picked up, and it moves the ball down somewhere around the 5-yard line or so, bringing up first and goal here.
2 tight ends into the game with McGarry and Koziel.
Connors zonkers his way into the end zone for 6.
You say Zonka, I say Riggins. Go way back to John Riggins back in Washington when he was wearing the number 44 and nobody could ever catch him from behind. You wondered why, but he would break runs and show tremendous toughness running between the tackles. That's what Dean Connors has shown here tonight so far.
This is a kid who has played.
Playing on the field with a touchdown.
So they will look at this. Connors is a kid who has played in 4 offensive systems in 4 years, and the coaches were effusive in their praise on how he's such a cerebral player. He began his career at Rice. They say always lines up right, doesn't make mistakes, has the details covered.
And he's a complete back. When he comes in the game, it's not always all run. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to move him around. They'll motion him to different spots on the field. And this is
that's our Big 12 Operations Center. Getting a look at what they are looking at in the replay command center. And so the ruling upheld. It is indeed a touchdown for Connors. And Houston has had the ball twice. They have marched down the field twice. First drive started at the 3, this last one at the 20. And now Sanchez can make this a 10-0 game with a PAT.
This is a huge start for the University of Houston.
The Cougars were a bit sluggish for most of the first half last week against Rice. And when you looked at their first 2 opponents, Stephen F. Austin, Rice, Andre, there's a bit of a mystery as to how good is this team.
Yeah, you're still trying to figure out, you know, against those 2 teams, it's almost like the preseason. And then now you get into Big 12 play. Colorado's coming to town with all that they bring. And it's it's a good opponent, a good solid football team coming to your building.
You guys were talking about Dean Connors and Anish. I spoke to him last year when he was at Rice, and he's from Oregon. He grew up on a ranch. He had 0 offers out of high school. So he went the JUCO route and then got the 1 offer at Rice. And he wore 0 at Rice to kind of remind him of his journey and the 0 offers that he got out of high school. And he also told me he was always over delusional about his ability. He wanted to believe more than anyone else would in him other than himself. And that drive and the way that he's stayed focused throughout this journey. He's been a beast in this first quarter.
He's been a beast the first few games for Houston. As we get a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
Andre, 3rd drive for Colorado.
Yeah.
Ryan Staub, 5 for 7. The running game has offered no help.
It hasn't. It's going to put some pressure on him to deliver in the passing game. He's been able to do it and dissect this defense at times in the first drive when the Cougars have shown zone coverage. He has yet to do it when they lock up in man-to-man.
Play clock hits 0.
Delay a game, and that's going to start this drive behind the down and distance markers.
Delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's a tough enough game to play, but when you're working it from 1st and 15, like Canada, it's a little bit different, a little more difficult.
In college football,
they get 3 downs to do it up there, though.
They do, but we see this off a kickoff.
Yeah.
Play clock starts at 25, and sometimes teams will take their time. This happens more than it should in college football.
Absolutely.
Simeon Price is the running back. Staub dancing, hit from behind. That's Khalil Laufau.
And we talked about him being active. And he is the definition of it as a defensive lineman, plays to the whistle. That's one of the things I noticed in practice this week for the Cougars is that they play to the whistle. Nobody stops until the whistle's blown, including Coach Fritz's defensive line.
So a delay of game, a sack for a yard, now 2nd and 16. Staub able to complete, and that is Omarion Miller.
That's huge.
Last week with a hamstring. They feel he's a breakout candidate. They're still looking for a pecking order in this receiving room.
Yeah, he's very strong after the catch, and that's Ryan Staub's main man. When in doubt, they have a special chemistry that it's crunch time. He's looking for number 4. And now, more so than ever, because they are locked up in cover 1 man-to-man.
Here comes the blitz. Staub looking for Miller. Latrell McCutcheon with him, stride for stride.
Yeah, that's exactly what Coach Prime told us, that they have a big-time relationship. McCutcheon letting Miller hear it. And it's a little bit early in the ball game to start flapping gums at one another. Just make a play, get to the sideline, and enjoy it with your teammates.
What do you think Dion was telling Ryan Staub?
Just settle in and go through your progressions, go through your reads. Don't just automatically eliminate and get to Miller.
Punt by Greaves. Muse gets mauled. 46-yard kick, nothing on the return. Week 2 of the NFL season coming your way with Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then Monday night, we've got a doubleheader, Bucks-Texans, special start time at 7, Chargers-Raiders on ESPN. How about the Chargers' season-opening win in Brazil against Kansas City, and Geno Smith lighting it up for the Raiders in his debut. And you don't have to go far on Monday night. How about Andre? You got a home and home this weekend.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. First time in, I think, 25 years that's ever happened.
This is Stacy Sneed for a gain of a couple.
Sneed is
senior.
Sort of their changeup back. They love to work the edges with him. He'll run speed sweeps, but he can run between the tackles. There's no doubt about it, but he is really, really dangerous out on the edges.
What's worked offensively for Houston so far?
Well, it's inside outside. When you know, body punches, and then when you think I'm going to the body, I'm going to go to the head. So it's when they think they're going to go inside, they're going outside. When they think outside, they're going inside.
Little boot by Wigman. Downfield and threw it a little behind to Stephon Johnson, third down.
I thought he had Kobe Young early as well, and they have just been unable to kind of unleash Stephon Johnson. He's a target that can get down the field. Team's deep threat. Had a big play last week in a win, a catch for 74 yards and a touchdown, but just haven't been able to consistently get the ball in his hands.
Empty set with the running back, Sneed, split out to the top of your screen. Wigman on the check down. There's Stephon Johnson, dangerous in space. First down, and then some more. And finally brought down by Hodge at the 40-yard line of Colorado, a gain of 28.
You know, I like unselfish football, and the block by Kobe Young staying with it. We got a flag down. Back around, just beyond the line of scrimmage. Not sure if this was a pick or not. Maybe pass interference on the Cougars. And this may be coming back, but the block by Kobe Young to free up Johnson.
David Alvarez, our head referee.
Pass interference, offense number 9. The ball was touched beyond the line of scrimmage. 15-yard penalty, still third down.
And Tanner Koziol, the big tight end, kind of felt like that pick route. It usually comes from the other side, but you can kind of see it just, oh yeah, he just kind of lines up like he's fronting him. You got to at least swim him, make it look like you're trying to run a route rather than squaring up to block the guy. Now, if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, he can do that all night. But when it's across the line of scrimmage, you're going to call that one every time.
That's why you grit your teeth and you take that one drama class, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
Third down and 23 now.
Is under further review. The ruling on the field is that the ball was touched beyond the line of scrimmage.
We're going to check this to see.
Because you can't have pass interference on anything at the line of scrimmage or back. So the ball has to cross the line of scrimmage for there to be pass interference.
I think this one's going to be upheld.
Yeah. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Matt Austin.
Yeah, Niche, this one's going to be extremely close. He's running right down the line of scrimmage. It just depends on where he touched the ball. Was he reaching across the line? Was he reaching back? I think it's extremely close. Without a shot right down the line, I'm not sure you can really get a great view. I would think this would be upheld.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Matt there. It looks awfully close when you see the replay. I mean, almost right down the line of scrimmage.
Now you see that flag come in right away.
Yeah, and it's because of the front block almost that Tanner Koziol just goes out, and the defender Johnson that's in coverage against Johnson, he is just stopped right in his tracks.
Matt, what are the key focus points that they're looking at right now?
Well, you're looking to see where he touched the ball. The feet don't matter. It's where was the ball touched in relationship to the line of scrimmage. And it looks like he's running, you know, maybe 6 inches short of the line to gain. But again, when he touched it, it sure looked like he was reaching forward.
It's going to be hard.
Down
it's going to be hard to overturn
about
that.
the 33-yard line. That is so close. But remember the ruling on the field.
Indisputable video evidence needed to overturn the call. It has to be clear and obvious.
And the ruling on the field was that it was beyond.
Colorado coming off its first win against Delaware, lost to Georgia Tech in the season opener. Houston wins against Stephen F. Austin, and Rice only gave up 9 total points in the 2 games.
After first review, the ball was touched behind the line of scrimmage. First down for 39-yard line.
Matt, you said it was hard to see if there was clear and obvious evidence. They must have seen it. Is there an angle in there that we didn't show the viewers that they have?
Well, there wasn't one that I saw. I do have the view of the replay, what the replay official's looking at. I did not see a shot right down the line. Again, it has to be clear and obvious. I just didn't see it, but, you know, they may have deduced something that I didn't see.
Surprising call.
I'm surprised as well, and I agree with Matt. I don't know that there was anything to overturn it, but here we go.
That's a big pendulum swing. All of a sudden, it's now first down and 10 inside the Colorado 40 as opposed to 3rd and 23. And Stacy Snead fighting through tackles and shoulders his way out of bounds for a first down.
Yeah, he's a change-up back that we told you about earlier, but he can run between the tackles and kind of showing that and showing some toughness along the way as they escort him out of bounds. But boy, does he give them an element of speed.
Cozy all motions. Back to Snead.
This is exactly, Anise, the game plan that Georgia Tech kind of unleashed on Colorado. Not much different between the tackles with a running game, and they're going to swing it out for some screens and quicks when you have to throw, and it gets a little bit, you know, you get in about 3rd and 7 or so, they'll throw it down the field, but they're not going to deviate much.
Against Georgia Tech, Colorado gave up 320 rushing yards. I think Paul Johnson blushed. Snead spun down in the backfield. That's Keaton Wade.
Yeah, he beat Cedric Melton, just beat him. Right off the snap, got inside, and with that handoff made his way to Snead. But that was one where we told you once in Dukeway went out of the game and they brought Melton in at right tackle. Keep an eye there.
Houston wins the first quarter here on Friday night with a 10-0 lead. 3rd and 7 Cougs when the second quarter begins.
Coach, how would you assess your defense so far?
Hot garbage. We can't stop them on first downs. First downs, that's when they're making the big plays. And that last play we just gave up with that call, that was unbelievable.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. God bless.
3 plays of 20-plus yards for Houston in that opening quarter. The run game difference staggering.
Yeah.
Houston's got 92 yards on the ground, averaging almost 8+ yards a play. Meanwhile, Colorado only had 3 rushing yards in the entire quarter.
Colorado's got to get off the field on third down here. 75% so far they've given up.
This is third down. Wigman is sacked. Amari McNeil, 3rd season with Colorado, began at Tennessee.
And is on that right side, coming from the right side. They push things, and it's Cedric Melton, the right tackle, who's in for Ndukwe, that got beat once again in the pass game.
That's going to be something to watch, how Colorado attacks with the right side.
They like to use tight ends. Now you're going to have to use one to help. You're going to have a back chip, something to help out Cedric Melton.
A 43-yarder for Sanchez, who has hit from 52. (13-0) Houston. The Cougars have scored on every drive. For 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you to Allstate. Beautiful Friday night in H-Town. Nate Schroff, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra. Big 12 opener between Colorado and Houston. Houston's 3rd season in this conference, so not a ton of history between these two. The last time they played, the only other time they played, at the Astrodome, Blue Bonnet Bowl, 1971.
Well, 29-17, I think, was the final in that one. And a lot of alums were on hand for that one. I talked to this week and said, hey, we need our get back. Well, what a start it's been for this Cougar team. 3 possessions, 3 scores, and playing some pretty good defense along the way. And Colorado's got to get started. Got to get Ryan Staub going and with some completions here during this drive.
Here is Gibson. And he's got speed. The freshman out near the 25, and the Houston defense dominated the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, they really did. When you talk about stopping the run, they're winning at the line of scrimmage, getting some push, then disrupting the passing game of Ryan Staub and this receiving corps by just getting pressure, stopping the run game, winning at the line of scrimmage. Then they pin their ears back, and they can get the pressure necessary to get to the quarterback, Ryan Staub. It's been a nice give and take from this Cougar defense. They played the run well as getting to the quarterback when Colorado's had to pass the football.
Michael Welch looking for running room, ran into big Carlos Allen, who stays with him and gets the tackle. And again, very little from this Colorado run game. That's a loss of a couple.
It's just been tough for Colorado, especially, as you mentioned, trying to run the football. Over 2 on passes of 10 yards or more downfield. He's completed a couple of swing routes right over the center, but nothing downfield for this passing game of the Buffaloes.
Here comes the blitz. Staub moves the pocket. Wants Welch to block. All right, Andre, I'll pose this question to you. If Colorado can't get their offense out of quicksand, does Dion make a move at quarterback?
I think he's going to start to think that way. He may give Staub, till halftime, I think, to either get this thing going, or we're going to see Caden Salter in the second half if they can't get anything going here in the second quarter.
Last week against Delaware, 3 quarterbacks played in the first half. Staub played really well and played most of the second half. He missed his man, the tight end, Zach Atkins. Another 3 and out for Colorado. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And here's Greaves to punt.
And they were at 25% on third downs before the last play. 1 for 4, now 1 for 5. And I think that's the difference in the game so far. The Cougars converting on third down and keeping drives alive, where the Buffaloes are failing to convert on third downs.
This kick angling toward the near sideline, and it lands out of bounds. Houston ball. They have scored on every drive. They'll start at their own 35.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
Who would play quarterback for Colorado? It was a big topic all week. You're looking at their bench. Juju Lewis walking out of frame. Caden Salter without the helmet, 3 in white. Salter took Liberty to a Fiesta Bowl a few years ago. Lewis, top 15, 5-star recruit, number 3 pocket passer coming out of high school. And Ryan Staub, the 3rd stringer coming into the year, getting his first start of the season, 2nd of his career tonight, as Stacey Sneed picks up 2 before Reginald Hughes greets him.
Yes, 13 of the 22 plays that the Cougars have run have been in Colorado territory. So it doesn't take them long to get past midfield, and then they start to operate, and all 3 possessions, they put points on the board, this being the 4th.
Empty set here on 2nd down and 8. Safety blitz. Wigman's throw batted away by Tawfiq Byard. younger brother of Titans All-Pro safety Kevin Byard.
His older brother is some player. Started his career at USF, who had a big win last week against Florida.
How about 2 big wins?
I mean, they're getting it done down there.
And I got a feeling all of the AP poll voters will rank USF this week.
Buddy Paul Newman watching tonight. Wishing him a speedy recovery, but I know he is proud of his Bulls right about now.
A longtime statistician, get well soon. Connor Wigman's throw incomplete, covered by Preston Hodge. He wanted Harvey Broussard, and it's 4th down. Big stop and a needed stop by this Colorado defense.
A much needed stop because it looked as though the Cougars were on another march towards midfield, and then all of a sudden abruptly stopped. And that's huge for Colorado. They're going to get some decent field position to start this drive, and hoping that Ryan Staub can get this offense going.
Here's the punt. Good kick. That is a boomer. It takes a Houston bounce, and it's downed inside the 10-yard line.
What a punt. 56 yards by the Cougars, and it checked up like my old sandwich.
Our spotlight is on a Houston great, Andre Ware, who grew up southeast of the city in Dickinson. He began his football career as an 11-year-old running back for the Vikings, and as a 7th grader moved to his true love, quarterback. At Dickinson High School, he ran the wing team, was recruited by many top programs as a defensive back. That was a mistake. At Houston, he went on to win the '89 Heisman and shattered many NCAA records, including passing for 517 yards and a half and 5 touchdowns and a quarter. In 1990, the Detroit Lions selected Andre in the 1st round, and after a career in the NFL, he spent the last 25 years in the booth calling games. But most importantly, he's a great husband to Marianne, a father to Z, and a cherished friend of mine. Props to a true Houston legend, devour Andre Ware.
Now I'm just Z's dad. That's it. That's what I'm known for now, just being Z's dad.
How about those pictures? Portrait of a quarterback as a young man, but you haven't aged a day.
Oh, yeah, I have. You see the grays. I mean, they're filling in, but you try to keep yourself in as good a shape as you possibly can, where you can come back to a place like this and still call it home.
Yeah, listen, this is a place that you helped build with what you were able to accomplish for this program. Meanwhile, the struggles offensively continue to compound for Colorado. And Andre, this Houston defense is almost daring Ryan Staub to beat them over the top.
They are doing exactly that. They're crowding the box, especially on the early downs, and daring Colorado to run. And they've been stout at the line of scrimmage and able to stop them there. Then when they go to the air, you can mix coverages, because when you're living in third down and long, that is tough for an offense and a quarterback making his second start.
Houston bringing pressure. Staub hit, incomplete. Wanted Sincere Brown a late flag at the tail end of the play.
Well, I didn't see interference. I saw McCutcheon right in the pocket of the intended receiver, but not much contact, and that's why the officials are talking it over. This could be huge for Colorado.
Defense, number 1, 50-yard penalty and automatic first down.
So they get McCutcheon, Houston's top corner, and that avoids a 4th consecutive 3-and-out.
And just a little sit-down route by one receiver where I think Schaub should have gone, and yes, absolutely pass interference with a tug of the jersey right as the ball is on its way to Sincere Brown.
And can that be the spark that gets this Colorado offense going?
All it takes is, the first down in a drive or in a possession to kind of get that motor running.
Staub, nowhere to go, and devoured by big Carlos Allen at 2nd down.
Well, we highlighted him as one of our impact players, and he's been stout in the running game, making plays close to the sideline, which means he's got to run. And then there against Ryan Staub, as he stepped up in the pocket, that's right back around the line of scrimmage. So would that be considered a sack?
No gain on the play, no sack. Price motions. Staub has to get rid of it. His tight end Atkins, maybe a yard. It's 3rd down. Part of the problem for Colorado is Allen holding his side, comes off the field.
Yeah, it looks like
no run game to help the quarterback.
No run game whatsoever, but in terms of Carlos Allen, he means a lot to this Cougar defense. That's the 2nd time we've seen him leave the field and kind of holding that rib area. So I don't know if he's stretched a muscle or strained one, or if he got hit in the ribs early in this game, but they really, really need him back on the field.
On 3rd down, it's a 4-man rush. Staub will make a run for it. Gets the corner, gets the first down. Night at the Improv for Ryan Staub.
Austin Armstrong talked about eye discipline, staying in your rush lanes, and they get inside, which allowed Staub to escape outside. A penalty, and then now a first down. Colorado finally getting things going offensively.
Another 2-back look. This is to Kalen Taylor. Breaks a tackle in the backfield and turbos forward to about the 43-yard line.
And Kentrell Webb coming up from that safety spot, missing a tackle. I mean, he had him dead to rights, had him lined up, and couldn't get a bead on Taylor, get him wrapped up and on the ground. That leads to another first down for Colorado.
Yeah, they changed the spot. They gave them the 45. Back to the ground. And Michael Welch wrestled down after a gain of a yard. Andre, the last 2 years, Deion's first 2 in Boulder, Colorado had the worst rushing offense in the country in both seasons. But they had Shedeur Sanders. They had Travis Hunter. They did not have a great offensive line, but when you have an NFL quarterback and last year 4 NFL wide receivers, you're not as reliant on the run game. They thought they would be better running the football because they're better up front. They set up the screen here, and That's Omarion Miller.
Well, talking to Pat Shermer last night, they had problems on the offensive line. He also said they felt like they didn't have enough juice in the backfield to establish any type of consistent running game. Then you couple that when you're not good enough up front, you can't run block, nor can you pass block. You can't do either, but you had two stars on this offense that would rescue them, it seems like, every time they were in trouble. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, as you mentioned.
And this offensive line anchored by their left tackle, big number 77, Jordan Seaton.
Well, he's going to be somebody's #1 pick in a couple of years, maybe after next season. So good. They like to pull him and get him into space, but haven't been able to do that tonight.
They changed the spot again, so it sets up a 3rd and short. It doesn't matter. Colorado converts. Simeon Price
moving the football.
Best looking drive of the game for the Buffs.
Excellent job of moving the ball, and that running game of Colorado now starting to come alive. Carlos Allen not in the game right now for the Cougars, having to go with some backups, and Colorado running right between the tackles.
This drive extended because of the pass interference on Houston on 3rd down. Right up the gut. Simeon Price makes a house call. 38 yards. Colorado on the board.
Well, we just talked about it. Success right up the gut. And with Allen out of the game, it's there for Colorado. They get some nice blocks between the center and 2 guards. They get by, he gets by the 2nd level, and then it just turns into a foot race, and he's able to outrun Mark Stampley, the 2nd.
Andre, go back to the very first drive of the game. Allen had to come out.
Yeah.
On the very next play, Colorado attacked the middle of the Houston defense with the run.
Put together a couple of first downs, and they're right back in this ball game.
The PAT by Mata is good. They needed a break. They got it.
They got it with a pass interference call, and then all of a sudden it's off to the races with Simeon Price. We've got a ball game at 13-7.
Time now for the Aflac trivia question. All right, in Andre Ware's Heisman Trophy winning season, he set 26 NCAA records. How many fourth quarters did he play in that season? Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer. I think I know the answer, yeah. Yep, I'll hold it. And let those watching try to figure that one out, but yes, indeed.
What did you do in the second half?
I just rooted for David Klingler to do his thing.
Let's answer the question. Andre?
I think it's 2.
I hope you get it right.
I hope so too.
Four.
I didn't know. I must have gotten in the game in the fourth quarter because I only finished 2 that year. That was Arkansas and Texas A&M, and we were scrapping against those two. Didn't come out with a win in those that year, but we gave it a shot. Both on the road.
Wigman, little RPO. McGarry is tight end. Cut down. There's Byard again.
You know, Andre, you and I talk a lot. All these passing yards, I have to ask you, what was your high school coach at Dickinson, Doug Ferris, doing running the wing T when you threw for 10 gazillion yards in college?
Because we were so talented in the backfield, Clark, that we were running the wing T. That's what we did to win games, and that's what it took. That's where the talent was on our offense.
You were doing a lot of what Connor Wigman just did.
Yes.
Little quarterback draw up the middle. It sets
blocking
up
a little bit
1.
too. Pitch it and go block on wing right 21 pitch. Leading champ McLean and Rob Hill. Still remember 33 belly, which was Kenny Franklin going right up the middle. And come to University of Houston to run the veer. And by the time I got to campus, the run and shoot was in place.
Heavy set here on 3rd down. Quarterback sneak from under center. A lost start in today's game.
I think he got it.
And the initial spot gives Houston a 1st down. I can't tell you. I've lost count how many times we've been doing Friday nights, and 3rd and short, 2nd and short, 4th and short. Quarterback goes into a shotgun, and the vein on your forehead starts to bulge.
Yeah, I get a little irritated running short yardage plays out of the shotgun because it makes no sense. You allow for penetration when you do that.
Pistol set here. Muse the motion man. Dean Connors searching for room. Got 2, maybe 3, 2nd down.
I'll tell you what, things have just kind of switched sidelines, haven't they? The Colorado Buffaloes now all of a sudden they've become stout against the run. Houston had a great deal of success running the football early in this game, right up the middle. And now it's Colorado that's doing that to Houston. Houston struggling to run the football now.
Colorado gets a stop. You get the ball back, you get a touchdown, and you take the lead. Houston jumped out to a 13-0 lead. And the nickel blitz. Koziol, the catch, turns upfield. He had 94 catches a year ago. Not only 6th in the nation, but the only tight ends who had more. Harold Fannin of Bowling Green, 3rd-round pick of the Browns. Tyler Warren of Penn State, 1st-round pick of the Colts.
Well, that's why that last play is why I think he's the best offensive weapon on this Cougar offense. They can pretty much get him the ball whenever they want. If they're able to hold up in pass protection, he's that good of a route runner.
A transfer from Ball State. Here comes Connors. He sledgehammers inside the 35. Brandon Davis Swain, good-looking redshirt freshman from Detroit, with the tackle.
Just as we say that about the Cougars not having success running the football, completion to the tight end, that kind of opens things up again for that running game. And one way to settle Cedric Melton in is just to let him fire off the ball and go run block.
It's a 2 tight end set with Koziol in the slot. Now he motions. Connors can't find much room. Byard gets in there, one of the safeties. 3rd down coming up here. Could be 4-down territory.
I think so. When you cross the 50 in this day and age of football, certainly when you get this deep into your opponent's into the field. Coach Fritz won't panic, won't even think about not going for it on 4th down if he gets anything here.
Rob Livingston, the D coordinator for Colorado, told us with the team's going forward on 4th so much more.
Yeah.
He's had to move up his play calls. You know, what used to be the 3rd and 3 calls, now the 2nd and 3 calls. Sometimes vice versa as Wigman moves the chains on 3rd down and short. He said, you know, 3rd and 4, you're not dialing up the blitz because they might go for it on 4th down now.
Yeah,
this time they brought pressure.
Yeah, they bring pressure, but they run quarterback counter, which is the perfect answer when you're bringing it inside. They got to block and wash everything inside, pull the right guard around, and it was just a convoy escorting Connor Wigman to the 1st down marker.
A career high in rushing yards for Wigman, 71 in the 1st half. Time in the pocket. Wigman wants his tight end underthrown and incomplete. Ben Finiseth, a former walk-on, one of the Buffs in the end zone in double coverage.
And it's a nice job in terms of coverage on the back end. Finiseth is kind of routing him from the start, and Myers helping underneath, kind of redirecting things as well. That ball should have been thrown way earlier before the safety had a chance to get a nice break on it.
Snead met in the backfield, and that's going to be a loss of a couple. Tawfiq Thomas with the TFL, and a 3rd and long for Houston.
Transfer from Louisville, and made a big play there to get the Cougars behind the down and distance marker here now on 3rd and long. And they've got to answer in some way that score, that touchdown that Colorado put on the scoreboard. Boy, he has got man-to-man coverage on Stephon Johnson at the top. Actually, it's Amari Thomas with Johnson down at the bottom.
And we come to the 2-minute timeout. Big 3rd down for Houston on the other side as they nurse a 6-point lead. line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. Here's the blitz. Wigman hit, throws, incomplete. Flag down.
Yeah.
And I think they got his face mask. On 3rd and 13, Colorado brought it all-out blitz. A flag down. It appeared Connor Wigman's face mask was grabbed. And it was. Enough for a flag. We'll see. They're talking it over.
Yeah, I think it's actually
Keaton Wade.
Wade or Finiseth coming off the corner on a blitz from that safety spot.
Buffalo's had 8 players on the line of scrimmage before the snap.
Well, they were bringing everybody. 3 receivers in the formation, and they were lined up, locked up man to man. Everyone else at the line of scrimmage didn't even try to hide the blitz.
We have fouls on both teams. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 7, grabbing the face mask, number 7. Intentional grounding, offense, not receiving the penalty set.
So we get a replay of the down as we bring in Matt Austin. Matt, now the grounding penalty, with the pressure coming, we're going to take another look.
Well, the grounding penalty is unfortunate because he was grabbed in the act of passing. That usually lets the quarterback off the hook for where the ball ends up. If you get hit, then you throw the ball, you got to get it very close. If you throw it before you're hit, then you usually get the benefit of the doubt.
Quarterback draw on 3rd and long. Colorado able to sniff it out. Finiseth makes the play. Big stop for Colorado, given the fact that Houston was going to receive the 3rd quarter kickoff.
Colorado, their second and a half, 30 seconds in length.
Yeah, I don't know how you throw the football when your head's being twisted and you're trying to make a throw downfield. Yeah, it's going to come up short, and yeah, there's not going to be a receiver in the area because your head's being yanked off. That one I think should have been, a play on.
We saw earlier in the game there was a critical play during the Houston drive, which extended the Cougars' drive. Pass interference.
Yeah.
And again, for pass interference to occur, ball's got to be across the line of scrimmage, and the receiver's got to have it across the line of scrimmage. And the initial ruling was offensive pass interference on Houston. They reviewed it. To Matt Austin, to us, it did not look clear, yet they changed the call, and it ended up being a long gain for Houston. They end up scoring on that drive. And we're sitting up here going, I don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn that one.
And they overturned it.
All right, Matt Austin, what else did you glean?
Well, getting back to the play before where they had the offensive pass interference, I don't think the officials did change the call. They said he touched the ball behind the line. That was the ruling on the field. The refs might cut out, so it made it confusing, but I think the officials in the replay got that just right.
Sanchez on for a field goal attempt. Kick is up. And good. Ethan Sanchez, 3 for 3 on the night. This one from 47 as we get a studio update from Zubin. Well, USF is opened with a win against what was a ranked Boise State team in week 1. They go to the Swamp. They beat Florida. Now they get Miami. They were in the middle of, I guess you would call it, an internet firestorm during the week where
no easy win.
Some AP writers
are thinking that
didn't really reward USF.
They aren't thinking that that's an easy win. The Bulls are playing some inspired football. They've got an enormous amount of talent and speed. That's going to be a fun game to watch this weekend.
Short kick, a chance for Gibson. Flag from behind the play.
Yeah,
now another
flag. Block in the back. This one's coming back. And Colorado's going to start this drive a little deeper in their own territory here. Well, it's been tough, hasn't it? When you start in drives.
Return. Holding. Return team number 36, 10-yard first down.
You know, but they found something that last drive. Go ahead, Manish.
Well, this is for you as we answer part 2 of the Aflac trivia question. The answer we gave you was 4. You thought it was 2. You want to know what the games were.
I do.
This is for you, Andre, the 4 games.
Arizona State, I remember that one like it was yesterday. We went out there, all Pac-12 officials. I think we had 250 yards in penalties that they tried to keep the score down.
Colorado starts from its own 12. Staub in this spot a week ago engineered a late touchdown drive against Delaware. Joseph Williams makes the catch on first down. Buffaloes only have 1 timeout.
Good news for Houston. Carlos Allen Jr. back in the lineup. He was in the tent for a little while. Right oblique area, and the combination of Allen and Laufau in the middle, those guys hold it down for Houston.
On second down, quick throw to the sideline. That's Draylon Miller. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Go back to the end of week 1. Clock management, timeout management. A big issue for Colorado at the end of the game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, here trying to get this thing right with 1:13 left to play here in the first half. They found some rhythm in that last drive. 93-yard drive for a touchdown. Their first 4 drives, just 42 yards and 4 punts.
First down momentarily stops the clock. Staub chased from the backside. Shovel pass. That's Omarion Miller. He's got space into Houston territory inside the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 36. That'll momentarily stop the clock with 1:02.
Trying to answer that field goal that the Cougars just kicked through, and this is what you're looking for in the 2-minute drill. Is a big play to kind of get things started. Going to take a timeout here, but this basically jump starts the possession for you. The big play you're looking for. Staub does a nice job of stepping up in the pocket, scrambling, and the eyes down the field allows him to find Omarion Miller. What did Pat Schumer kind of compare him to? David Boston, that body type, along with Anquan Bolton. That's some pretty good company.
The timeout was by Willie Fritz to get Houston set on defense. Miller did not play last week with a hamstring, but last year before he broke his leg in a game against Kansas State, he had 8 catches for 145 in that game. 2 years ago against USC, 7 for 196, which was a freshman receiving record for Colorado.
He is a big target and a guy they want to get the ball in his hands. You mentioned last week, or the week before, caused him to sit out with a hamstring injury. And boy, when he gets it, you saw on that last play what he's capable of doing with it.
Colorado in plus territory, 58 seconds on the clock. Hakeem Williams, the motion man. Deep drop by Staub. Throws to Welch. Juggles. Caught it. He's got space. And Welch thunders inside the 20. Finally brought down by Jalen Garner.
This could be what was needed to unlock Ryan Staub. Just put him in a 2-minute drill, take the thinking out of it for him, and just allow him to throw the ball. Let him play football and not really have to think, break the huddle, give a play. This may be it for him.
Staub looking for Welch. It lands at his feet, incomplete. Clock stops with 35 seconds.
Number 29 is in the area, second down.
Yeah, there was clearly a receiver in the area, not grounding.
I always think that when quarterbacks struggle, just put them in the 2-minute drill, let them just get used to just being at the line of scrimmage, because you're not really thinking, and you get to the line, you see it, ball snapped, and you go play. You eliminate the thinking, the play calling, all the terminology, and then breaking the huddle, waiting on guys to get set and the coverage to set itself. Now you're the aggressor, and you're forcing the defense and Coach Fritz, like he did on that before the last play, to spend a timeout.
Yeah, and that is a procedural mistake by Colorado. The clock had stopped. They were slow getting their subs in, and now have to burn their final timeout.
Yeah, at least, you know, Staub is such a smart player that he should be able to get them into a play call based on what he's seeing on the defense. They trust him to do that. They allow him to check plays at the line of scrimmage, and I don't know that I've ever seen a situation where the third string guy comes in and he's audibling at the line of scrimmage. They're usually too afraid to do that.
One of the things the Colorado coaches told us was when Staub found out a day before the game last week that he was playing, he went right to Pat Shurmur, his offensive coordinator, and said, hey, these are the plays I like. This is what I'm comfortable doing. And that was a sign to Deion Sanders that this kid not only was waiting for his opportunity, he was ready for the moment.
Well, I think they've unlocked how to use him and how to best get the most out of him. Staub on this drive is 4 of 5 for 69 yards. And Colorado's on the move trying to answer the field goal that the Cougars just put on the board.
No timeouts. 35 seconds to go in the half. Four-man rush. Staub. Big hole up the middle. Staub to the end zone. Ball pops out. And it's covered up by Colorado. And it's a Buffalo's touchdown.
Yeah, Coach Prime also told us there's no slide in Ryan Staub, and that's how he wins over his teammates. You know, he gets the rush, didn't get there. I think he's down before the ball pops out into the end zone. But he is not going to slide. He's as tough as they come. He plays hard, and we see it on that play. But I think that one's going to be just shy of the goal line.
Well, here's the thing. Atkins,
well, I don't know. It
recovered
touched
in the end zone. But at any point, if the nose of that ball crosses the goal line at any point, it's a dead ball, and it's a touchdown for Colorado.
And that angle, you know, is a little bit better, where it shows that the football in the nose of it may have touched the goal line.
So you're looking at a couple of things. One, was the quarterback down before the goal line, and did the ball not go over the goal line? Again, ruling on the field was touchdown. So he has control, right there. Now, if that ball touches the goal line, that's a touchdown. If he's got control. And they saw nothing upstairs to warrant a further review. Mata on for the PAT. 16-14, the legend of Ryan Staub continues to grow.
Yes, indeed. What a drive that Colorado is able to put together. Their 2-minute drill, 6 plays, 88 yards, and they go that 88 yards in 119, but it was Staub just making plays all over the field. The scrambling, moving around, stepping up in the pocket, and then showing off his legs and his toughness to finish that run that ends up in a touchdown to his tight end, Zach Atkins. Well, I tell you what, we got a ball game. Stick around for the second half.
So that play goes in the books as a fumble and a recovery by Atkins in the end zone for a Colorado touchdown. And after a slow start, 3 straight 3-and-outs at one point, Colorado has found its offensive mojo behind a man who waited. He could have transferred when they brought in an accomplished portal guy like Caden Salter. Could have transferred when they brought in a ballyhooed 5-star like Juju Lewis. Stayed, was rewarded, and getting a chance to start tonight and starting to find his groove. Here is Mekhi Muse. Saturday SEC tripleheader on ABC. Alabama and Wisconsin. That game in Tuscaloosa. Georgia meets Tennessee. Dogs have not only won 8 straight against the Vols, they have held
Could
Tennessee.
be different this week.
They've held Tennessee below 20 in 7 of those wins. They've had the answer for Josh Heupel's offense.
Well, I don't know about this year going into Tennessee, playing some pretty good football, and the Cougars here are going to like to get to the locker room. I just believe with any time and you got timeouts, I'd try to maybe break a draw play, throw a hitch, get out of bounds and see if you can maybe break a tackle, but I just don't believe you score enough points in the first half of a football game.
You're also saying that because a lot of times that was your last drive of the game.
That's right.
Houston will get the ball first to begin the 3rd quarter. Cougars jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Colorado has roared back to make this a game. Zubin and company after the break. We'll be back with more action after these messages. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks from TD ECU Stadium. It's the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Halftime score, Houston, a 2-point lead on Colorado. Anish Shroff, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra down on the sideline. Cougars jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Colorado, after 4 straight punts to begin the game, touchdowns on their last 2 drives. What changed?
Yeah, big plays. We were talking about it early in the game that the Cougars couldn't give up a big play. As well, what's changed is Colorado started moving the football, running it a little bit, mixing the run with the pass, and then able to run between the tackles. It's kind of taking a little bit of pressure off Ryan Staub, and he got himself going in late in the second quarter. So we are set, buckle up for a fantastic finish here in the second half.
Now Staub leading a couple of scoring drives at the tail end of that second quarter. Houston, which has scored on 4 of its 5 possessions, will receive to begin the third. As we take a look at tonight's game track, brought to you by American Express. The last 2 drives for Colorado, all of a sudden they got a break with a penalty against Houston to extend a drive, and that seemed to be the spark that lit this offense.
As well, Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, kind of bend but don't break, forcing field goals as opposed to allowing touchdowns. That kept the Buffaloes in this thing and allowed them to get back in it late in the second quarter.
Houston balanced in that first half. Here's the blitz. Wigman in trouble. Connors on the wheel with a diving catch to bail out his quarterback as we check in with Paul.
Well, Nish, Willie Fritz just told me moments ago that Colorado has amped up the pressure on Connor Wigman and the passing attack for Houston. The way to counter it, go to the run game. 115 yards in the first half. The problem is the majority of those yards were in the first quarter. And the issue here now is they're down 2 linemen, Andre.
That's a backwards pass. Stephon Johnson in space, runs out of bounds in front of Vickers. First down, Houston. Early in the game, David Ndukwe went down. He was starting because Dalton Merriman is out.
Yeah.
So 2 guys down, and Cedric Melton, who's been playing right tackle, number 76. Colorado has found ways to attack him.
Yeah, and now Luke McGarry, the tight end, is helping the right tackle, Cedric Melton. He's lining up to that side, aiding in pass protection.
They go back to Connors, who's wrestled to the ground at the line of scrimmage. That's Anquin Barnes, who began his career at Alabama.
Thing about it is you don't want to kind of tip your hat, so to speak, with Luke McGarry lining up on that side when they're going to pass to help Melton, and then when they're going to run, they're able to move him around. At some point, Melton's just going to have to hold up.
Speed option. Connors, the pitch man, breaks the tackle, and then finally tripped up by the safety, Finisset. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 3.
I tell you what, I've been impressed with Connor Wigman. He's doing a little bit of everything and showing some toughness in the process. They're hitting him and yanking on his jersey and all kinds of things, even after the ball's out of his hands. But he has shown some toughness. That was, he went through that series of injuries at Texas A&M in 23 and then again in 24. But boy, does he look like he's in shape and ready to go the distance.
2 tight ends, both lined up at receiver. They go to Koziol, old reliable, and he's going to be a little shy according to the spot. Okay, you're Willie Fritz. You're Houston. Do you roll the dice?
Absolutely, and they've been getting pushed inside. Just no problem going between the guards, but I don't like the formation in short yardage out of the shotgun. Absolutely can't stand it.
Fritz, a big analytics guy. The book says go for it.
Yeah, Colorado has kind of owned the line of scrimmage since the second quarter.
There's the snap. Wigman bouncing off his lineman and picks up the 1st down.
Boy, the smart way to do it. Get under center, get some push. And Wigman finding a nice little soft spot at the line of scrimmage to bounce off one defender and make his way to the first down marker to keep this drive alive.
Koziel, the 6'7" tight end. A little extra helping hand at the end.
Boy, I'd give him a hitch. Something quick just to get the ball out of his hand. A lot of guys in the box for Colorado.
Wigman checks down. Here's Johnson. Cross midfield. Spin cycles into Colorado territory. Stephon Johnson with another catch.
Well, you see the playmaking ability, and now another Cougar offensive lineman is down. It's guard Mackenzie Agnello.
And remember, Agnello got the start last week, partly because of Jason Brooks being injured. So the depth up front on this rebuilt Houston offensive line, a unit that was the worst in the Big 12 last year. They emboldened it with transfers in the offseason, but that depth is being tested. Ashraf, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra. That is Mackenzie Agnello moments ago. And this Houston offensive line, which was a little beat up coming into the game, has now lost two pieces off that offensive line at right tackle, now at guard.
Trying to get the Buffaloes to jump off sides. And a little bit of experience, Connor Wigman there.
Little shovel pass. It's Koziel. Tawfiq Bayard. That sets up a 3rd and 1. So 73. Jason Brooks, who didn't play last week, he was hurt, did not start today, is in there at left guard for Agnello.
Oh, what a tackle by Bayard, because if he doesn't bring Koziel down, it is off to the races.
That's a big first down run. Jeremiah Brown finally takes Stacy Sneed to the ground.
Not the power back you think to run between the tackles, but the quickness gives him a chance running in the interior, and he is able to pick up the first down there.
So with these injuries to the offensive line, how does that impact play caller Slade Nagel?
Well, you're helping Cedric Melton at right tackle anytime you can. It's an obvious passing situation, and then they get a false start here against the Cougars. But the good thing for Slade Nagel is Jason Brooks Jr. he started the first game.
Number 73, 5-yard penalty.
And so he's got starting experience, and Jason Brooks is in the game now. So he's got that starting experience. You don't really worry quite as much.
He got flagged for the false start, so
just kind of get started.
You come into the game and you're antsy.
Yep, that's exactly right.
6th-year senior started at Vandy and then Oklahoma State. 1st and 15. Sneed has some room and escorted out of bounds by Hodge, the nickelback.
Boy,
bring up 2nd down.
And he kind of made up for it. Jason Brooks. Watch him pull. 73 pulling around. Then he's going to seal that thing for Stacy Sneed, who's up inside and then back out. That's a nice job of not only getting the penalty yards back, but making it 2nd down and medium here.
11 back on the play. Bad snap. Wigman has to flush it. It's 3rd down.
We're going to talk about this, whether or not
the pass is legal. The quarterback was outside the tackle box, and the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
Out of the tackle box. But that thing could have bounced any way away from Wigman, and then they would have had some problems, but it bounces right up and into his hands.
He's out of the tackle box, and then the ball just has to cross the line of scrimmage to avoid grounding.
Boy, there's no one on Amari Thomas. Late to get over there is DJ McKinney.
He's Colorado's top corner. Houston 6 of 11 on 3rd down. Connors. And that call shows you that it may have been 4-down territory all along, although Sanchez is 3 for 3 on field goals.
This is stretching it for Sanchez, and wanted a little bit more production out of that and get it to 4th and short, but he didn't go anywhere. It's still 4th down and 4.
First drive of the 2nd half, going on 6.5 minutes. 13th play. Hard count. Wigman on 4th down, able to convert. Amari Thomas for a 1st down.
Well, he got inside position on the slant against Preston Hodge. And I tell you what, Wigman is standing in there in the face of a big-time pass rush and delivering dimes to move this offense. They are just about lining up and bringing the blitz every single obvious passing situation that the Cougars are in.
They've come at Preston Hodge a few times. He struggled last week in the win against Delaware. Sneed picks up the blitz, not for long. Wigman is hit and floats a wounded duck toward the sideline.
This may be grounding because I don't see a receiver in the area, and I'm not sure Wigman got outside the tackle box.
They're talking
a long time.
And there's the flag
about this. Yep.
Intentional grounding, offense number 1, lost the down in the spot of the pass. 2nd down.
He gets quick pressure off the edge from Byard and is able to escape him and just trying to throw it away, but there's not a receiver in the area. And that's what drew the attention of not only myself, but several of the officials on the field.
So 2nd and 19. An offensive line that's taken some hits. Another run play. Wigman keeps the hurdle. Lands awkwardly at the 27. Brings up a 3rd down, a gain of 6. They have to get all the way to the 13-yard line for a first down.
Cougar fans just wince every time he goes down because they know the injury history. They know how special a talent he is when he's on the field. But you have to keep him there. And you're looking to play 12 games with him, not just 3.
He's been hurt in the last 2 seasons, both with Texas A&M. Lost his job last year to Marcel Reed. Colorado with the all-out blitz. Wigman on the quick out. And that is a catch inbounds. It's going to be shy of the line to gain. Stephon Johnson.
Nothing shy about what Colorado wants to do. I mean, they are packed. 8 guys coming after Wigman. They're able to pick up all of them except one. And a nice job on tapping the toes down outside by Stephon Johnson. Cougars going to try to take the points with Ethan Sanchez, who's knocked down 3 already.
Well, that's kind of been the story of this game. Houston drives, gets downfield.
Colorado
drives,
but don't break.
And Colorado holds them to 3. Sanchez has hit from 52, 43, and 47 from 35. His 4th field goal of the game. Houston has scored on 5 of its 6 drives, but only the 1 touchdown. Tonight's game flow is brought to you by Progressive.
Yeah, big plays in this game. Dean Connors barreling it in from the goal line, and then all of a sudden, Colorado's running game got on track. Simeon Price going 39 yards to the house, and then Ryan Staub showing some toughness, bringing his team close as we inch closer to halftime, making that a 16-14 ball game.
And Houston, while they're able to move the ball, has not been able to open up a big lead. Colorado holding it to the Cougars to field goals, and now a touchdown by Colorado. The Buffaloes take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's bend but don't break for Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator for Colorado. He has found kind of the key and a lot of success in just kind of holding this Cougar offense to field goals, and that allows you to kind of stay around, hang around in a game until your offense gets itself going.
That kick go out of bounds. It did. Flag on the play on the kick out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team, the ball replaces the 35-yard line.
8.5-minute drive by Houston. This is the first time Ryan Staub's been on the field in the second half. And Coach Prime told me at the half that he was happy with the way that he got into the flow of the game late in that second quarter. And when he ran in for that touchdown and he didn't dive, he said he loved it. That's Staub being Staub, but he needs the run game to support Staub in the offense. Been non-existent virtually the last 2 years in Nation. In this first half wasn't good into that last drive.
Yeah, they feel they've got a better offensive line. They try the ground game, and they pick up a couple. Second down. So Colorado's ball after a 17-play, 57-yard drive by Houston. And first 4 drives all ended in punts, 3 3-and-outs. Almost had a 4th consecutive 3-and-out. But a Houston penalty on 3rd down extended the drive, and Colorado has found its offensive mojo since.
I'll tell you, it's hard to believe one guy could make that big of a difference in run defense, but Carlos Allen right in the middle has been a man among boys.
There's the blitz. Staub with a low throw, and that was incomplete. Wanted Hakeem Williams. Carlos Allen may have tipped it.
Yeah, one of our players of the game, or spotlight guys, Carlos Allen, keeping an eye on him all game long. He's coming out in an obvious passing situation. That's not his strong suit, but boy, has he been stout in the middle of that Cougar defense against the run, and they're getting a tipped pass for an incompletion.
Ryan Staub, who was the 3rd-string quarterback a week ago, making his 2nd career start tonight. 12 of 19, 120 yards passing. Here comes the blitz. Quick slant broken up, incomplete. Wanted Miller, and it's Latrell McCutcheon, Houston's top DB with the PBU.
Austin Armstrong, the defensive coordinator for Houston, says, hey, you're going to blitz our guy, we're going to blitz yours too, and get the ball right out of his hands. I think that's McCutcheon coming in late, maybe getting a hand in there, but thrown a little bit behind the intended receiver, Omarion Miller, but it was because of the blitz that Houston decided to bring there.
Reeves, an excellent punter. Muse has 2 career punt return touchdowns, but makes the fair catch after a 41-yard kick. It's Friday Night Lights. We're in the state of Texas. Andre wears alma mater, Dickinson down at the half. But Andre, the folks around the Houston Cougars program care a lot about that Houston Legacy School.
Yeah.
Why?
Keyshawn Henderson, the 6'5", five-star quarterback that is committed to the University of Houston in the 2026 class. I was at a camp on campus and got a chance to watch him throw a little bit. My goodness. I wish it could have hopped off my hand like that when I was in high school.
Henderson is the #1 ranked dual threat quarterback in the class of 26. On the fly sweep. That's Mekhi Muse.
Anish, they're dropping like flies on the offensive line for Houston. Mackenzie Agnello, starting left guard. Trainers were working on him. He's got his left knee wrapped with ice. That's essentially 3 starters down on the offensive line, and Willie Fritz brought in 5 offensive linemen for the portal. He said they got veteran in that department in the offseason, but they're running out of guys.
Yeah, testing that depth, Clark. And hopefully Jason Brooks, who sat out last week, can get to the finish line for the Cougars at left guard.
Another speed option, Dean Connors. First down and more.
Out of bounds inside the 40. Connors, a gain of 13. What a pickup he's been in the portal coming out of Rice.
Baby Riggins showing you the speed to get to the edge. And I mean, there was a defensive lineman chasing him that didn't stand a chance. He's got way more speed than you think he has. And boy, is he a tough inside runner.
11 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown for Connors. The quarterback, Wigman, Houston's leading rusher tonight. As an open receiver, and Stephon Johnson comes back to make the catch at the Colorado 45.
Been really impressed with Connor Wigman. Stepping outside on a little short roll, got a little bit of pressure, really didn't have to move, but then the accuracy on the move, Anish. I don't think a lot of people thought he had that in his game. You come out as a pocket passer, and that's what you're branded with. It's kind of what people expect from you. He is a really good athlete.
They go back to Connors. Last catch by Stephon Johnson, Andre. That speaks to part of the recruiting philosophy for this Houston team. They're in the Big 12 now, under the banner of a power conference. This is a recruiting hotbed, the Houston area. They're going to go get top high school guys like we just talked about with Keyshawn Henderson. But a guy like Johnson, who went to Oklahoma State from Houston, they're going to target those guys who want to come back home in the portal.
His philosophy is at least finish second, because when they get ready to transfer, you'll be the first phone call they make.
Nickel blitz, a shot downfield, a lot of contact, and they're going to get Vickers for DPI.
Transfer from Oklahoma, and they take the shot looking for Johnson, and that was kind of a focal point in practice this week, was getting him, Devin Williams, trying to get him the ball.
Defense number 10, 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Yeah, they wanted to get him more involved. He has big-time speed to take the top off the defense, good size as well, but there, Vickers, a little early, putting the Cougars right back pretty much in Eastern field goal range for Sanchez if need be here. If this drive stalls out.
What Houston's doing, they're shrinking this game. They had an 8.5-minute drive out of the locker room. It's first and 10, Houston. 3:12 to go in the third quarter. Houston's got the ball. They've got a first down. Colorado may end up with the ball once in this third quarter. Colorado crowds the box. Connors breaks free. A gain of 8 for Dean Connors.
Tell you what, Bayard has saved the day a couple of times for Colorado. Connors is getting ready to go to the house. There's nobody in the middle of the field, and then all of a sudden Bayard as well as Vickers kind of bring him down, but that's a heck of a job by Bayard to make that tackle.
On second and short. Right back to Dean Connors, right up the gut. Did he get enough?
I think he did. Well, they're going to mark him short and call it third and about just inches here.
Looks like another quarterback sneak. Wigman under center. Over his right guard. He's got the first down. I know when quarterbacks pull the QB sneak from under center versus the shotgun, that brings a smile to your face.
Yes, indeed. And the reason being, for fans watching and wondering, it allows for penetration by the defensive line. All they got to do is get a little bit of push, and then you're going to be stymied behind the line of scrimmage, as opposed to getting that push from right under center and forcing them on their heels.
Connors looked like he wanted to throw. Changing directions. His quarterback throws him a block. Connors for the pylon. Did he get there? Touchdown.
Oh, what toughness by Connors, and he's going to need some medical attention after this one. And how about Connor Wigman throwing his body on the line to help his buddy get in the end zone.
Rolling on the field is a touchdown.
But it lands right on his right shoulder. What, did he hit a gear or what, Anish? I think that's going to stand.
A 19-yard touchdown run. If the call on the field is upheld, that's the new verbiage this year. We've gone away from confirmed in stands.
And he is up.
Houston's had some injuries tonight. A couple of offensive linemen going down. Connors.
Tell you what, they lost a good one after the first week. Jamarian Burnett, who kind of had an accident getting a scooter out of a car. He may be the best back in the program. He's out, but when you couple him with Connors, oh my goodness, you got some 1-2 punch.
Is under further review.
Connors on that drive, 5 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown if it stands, which I think he does. 8 yards a carry is what he's averaging.
All right, let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt, what do you see here that could potentially overturn it? It's where the ball is, right, when that knee goes down?
That's exactly right, Anish, and I do think the knee hit with the ball about 6 inches short of the pylon, so I would not be surprised for this to be overturned and brought back.
Boy, the effort on the end of that by Connors, something else.
It looked like a gadget play initially, and then Connors reversed field.
Yeah. He's got enough speed to give himself a chance to play on Sundays. He's tough as nails, and I have yet to see him caught from behind.
And he's got a little bit of that neck roll, too.
John
He's
Riggins,
on brand.
man, it's not quite the thick one that John Riggins used to wear, but it's enough where you get the comparison.
A headband. He is the only player in the FBS with at least 700 rushing and 400 receiving.
The goal line with the ball. 5.
So Matt Austin's instincts were correct. It's going to set up a 1st and goal on the doorstep, and to finish the clock.
If I'm Connors, hey, Coach, I'm checking back in. I'm okay. Let me go finish the deal.
Remember Warwick Dunn with the Bucks? He would get the Bucks down there, and Allstott would finish the drive.
He was begging coaches to let him in. I'm right by Dean Connors, itching to get out there and close this one out.
Card trying to give him a break card.
He might get Allstotted over here.
Yeah, he's old school, man. He looks the part. He looks the part.
They have another back that looked pretty good as well, DJ Butler, who's a little more physical runner than Stacy Snead.
Wigman under center. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown is the signal. It took an extra play. And Houston with a 25-14 lead, and now an extra point gives you a 12-point lead. So right now a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and field goal ties it. Still a 2-score game though, with 1:21 to go in the 3rd. And
to keep in the game or keep Colorado chasing, Instead of field goals, they were able to get in the end zone. That's huge for this Cougar team. Nice job of just kind of feeling his way for a soft spot is Connor Wigman, and they get just enough push for him to get over the goal line, and the official's like, wait a minute, don't do that. I got to throw a flag if you spike it. What a game he's had. 6 of 7 here in the second half for 57 yards, and then now a touchdown run to go along with that.
Time of possession in this third quarter.
That's crazy. Almost 12:50 to just 50 seconds. Three and out for Colorado, essentially the entire third quarter.
What does that do to Ryan Staub on the Colorado sideline? Yet halftime, you basically get 50 seconds of gameplay, and you've had to watch Houston this entire time, plus the break at halftime.
If I'm Deion Sanders or Coach Prime or Pat Shurmur, their offensive coordinator, I'm telling him, hey, one play at a time. We don't have to go get this. We got an entire fourth quarter left to play, and we're not even out of the third quarter yet. We got 1:21 left in this one. We get a big play or have a big run or just get consistent with our offense and put 7 on the board. Now the pressure goes right back to the Cougar sideline. So I'm telling Ryan Staub, do not press and get us in trouble with the football.
To Kalen Taylor. Running through the seam, shy of the 30-yard line. SEC triple header Saturday on ABC. It gets started in Tuscaloosa with Wisconsin going to number 19, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, the 3:30 game, and then in Death Valley.
Look out, dogs.
Florida and number 3 LSU. Brian Kelly and company got that big opening week win against Clemson, up to number 3 in the polls.
But Joey Aguilar is off to a pretty good start. Both guys taking care of the football, no interceptions after 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, things for Nico out in UCLA, the former Tennessee quarterback, have not gone so good.
Boy, it is rough out there.
Staub. And that's a covered sack. Eddie Walls. Houston dropped 8, nobody open, and they eventually get home.
Yeah, you need to just keep an eye on every receiver. This is zone, but he kind of becomes man within this zone. So if a guy comes into your area, you're going to lock on, and that's just a coverage sack. Nowhere to go with a football for Ryan Staub. That allows Eddie Walls III to get home and pick up a sack. He should thank the secondary and the linebackers after this one's over.
Second straight game with a sack for Walls. Staub under pressure, spinning, and he's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. That's Carlos Allen, who now looks like he's going to run off as Houston gets its pass rushers on for 3rd and long.
Boy, has he played some ball game or what? Impact player? Yes, Carlos Allen Jr. has been one. Up the field, he's been dominant at the line of scrimmage in the in the running game, and then adequate as a pass rusher from the inside in passing situations.
That takes us to the 4th quarter. Colorado ran 5 offensive plays in quarter number 3.
Coach, you had the ball for 12 minutes and 49 seconds in the third quarter. How'd you do that?
Great job converting on some fourth downs. Just utilizing the clock. But I think we converted 3 fourth downs in that scenario.
What's been critical in terms of applying pressure on their quarterback?
Well, we just got to keep him in the pocket, and a couple times in the first half we gave him some seams, especially vertically, straight up the gut, and he can run. So we got to keep him in the pocket, and then we got to cover this a little bit longer. But we can keep him in the pocket, well, I think we can do some good things.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And Staub on 3rd and long with the pressure, turns it over. Blake Thompson the pick. It's the first turnover of the season for Colorado.
Yeah, Blake Thompson, he fought his way back from a shoulder injury, but this is just a bad throw because of the pressure that the Cougars are applying on Ryan Staub. It's a forced throw or forced bad throw because Jalen Gardner was able to get home against Ryan Staub, and this is excellent field position for the Cougars, who have dominated time of possession here in the second half.
And now, don't be surprised if this becomes 4-down territory for Houston. A touchdown makes this a 3-score game. A field goal, still a 2-score game.
And Connors is back in the game for the Cougars.
And Dean Connors hammerheads right on the hash for no gain. Tawfiq Bayard again. He's been everywhere for Colorado.
When you watch Connors run the football, rarely does he run it for a negative gain or a loss of yards, because he's smart enough and he's experienced enough to know, hey, if it's not there, take what's there, get down, come back and fight another day. Young backs try to bounce it, try to hit the home run on most things. He knows those opportunities will come.
Quarterback power. Wigman stood up shy of the 30. It brings up 3rd down.
This is just bleeding the clock, hoping to pick up a first down here. But if not, they'll go to Mr. Sanchez, who has been money, and make it even tougher for Colorado to get back in this thing as we draw closer to the finish line.
Wouldn't surprise me, though, if they get close enough, 4th and 2. Again, the difference between a 3-score game and 2-score game is massive. Don't be surprised if they roll the dice and go for it.
Well, here comes the blitz again. Looks like they may back out. They're coming.
Hughes in motion. There's the pressure. Wigman in trouble. Almost got sacked. Now flushes it away.
Boy,
and now we likely see Sanchez.
He got lucky, didn't he? Because that sack happens, and he's out of field goal range. So you can't take a sack there, and the pressure almost got to Connor Wigman. Keaton Wade coming off the edge free, and Wigman shows it to him, takes it away, nobody open, showing you the experience to just throw it out of bounds and let his kicker try to do his thing.
This is a 50-yarder. Sanchez 4 for 4. He's hit from 52. And that one is wide. No good, but there is a flag near the line of scrimmage. It looks to be on Houston.
Well, Colorado bend again, but don't break, able to overcome the turnover.
Offense, number 13, that penalties decline. Result, the field goal is no good.
Buffs still in it. Down 12. 13:30 remaining in regulation.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks. In the age of the portal and player retention being of utmost importance, Deion Sanders made a bold move this week, tabbing Ryan Staub, who started the year as QB3 as his starter. And that one dropped by Atkins, his tight end.
Boy, you need all the help you can get. And you got guys, when you hit them right between the numbers, putting it on the ground, gotta help him out big time. Houston has not allowed a touchdown pass in each this season. So you talk about defensively or defensive dominance, they've had some.
Down the seam, almost caught by Williams, incomplete. It's going to bring up third down.
Boy, McCutcheon, Jordan Allen, the safety, able to converge just at the right time. But I think this absolutely should have been a catch by Joseph Williams. He's had some big moments, or a couple of big catches in this game. Boy, the Buffaloes needed him to come up big right there.
Top freshman in the American last year for Tulsa.
Yeah, another big third down situation here. Do the Cougars bring pressure? It looks like they will.
Staub, his receiver wasn't looking. Is that picked? No. Jordan Allen right there. It's 4th and 10, and the offense has produced nothing for Colorado in this second half. And now Mark Stampley, one of the nickel backs, rolling on the ground in pain.
Yeah, he plays what they call that star position. He'd be a huge loss on the back end. He's excellent in man-to-man coverage, and so he allows them to do a lot of things on the back end. Had an interception in their opening game against Stephen F. Austin.
Jordan Allen, also a safety, shaken up, a little friendly fire. If this score holds, what does Colorado do at quarterback going forward, as we see Stampley coming off the field?
Well, he's struggling a little bit, and we may have seen the last of Mark Stampley. He collided with a teammate, with Jordan Allen. Allen was able to get up, but Stampley took the brunt of the collision. Colorado once again in punt formation. Just have not been able to get it going consistently. The end of the second quarter was their best moments offensively in this game. They went down, they were able to put touchdowns in the end zone, but since then it's been a struggle.
They went 3 and out on 3 of their first 4 drives, and they've gone 3 and out on every drive in this second half. Muse, little jigsaw, and cuts a jagged path across the 40. The Colorado offense in the second half, 9 plays for -5 yards. The all-new ESPN app is here, and for the best experience, all you need to do is follow these 3 simple steps.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
You see Stampley, who collided with his teammate Jordan Allen before the punt, getting attended to on the sideline, number 22 in red. Houston ball with the lead. Muse bobbled, and that bobble cost him a chance at yards. Martavius French, UTSA's leading tackler last year with the TFL.
They say he's learning and growing as a player, and they like what they're seeing. He's just trying to speed up his development and his understanding of this defensive scheme. But Robert Livingston, he likes him as a player.
2nd down and 10. 12 and a half left. The fake to Connors. Wigman loads up. Has a man downfield. It's caught. Stephon Johnson. 1st and goal, Houston.
Boy, he was catching everything in practice. Thrown his direction Wednesday. Said he was kind of primed for a breakout game. Only 1 catch in the first 2 weeks. A little stop and go route, and he's got tremendous speed. That got him behind Vickers, the corner, and Cougars are down in scoring range once again.
A gain of 54. First 100-yard game of Johnson's career. Wigman, a couple of juke moves. And that might be the dagger with 11:39.
And that's going to be a conversation for the film room tomorrow. Not sure who, because he shook 2 guys. And I'm not sure who they were yet until the replay happens. But oh my goodness.
To 14.
But what a run. This is a designed quarterback draw, and he makes Hughes miss first and then gets himself into the end zone. But Reginald Hughes, they are going to talk about that with my man in the film room, and then Byard as well was the 2nd defender that he made miss. But it was all set up by the home run he hits with Stephon Johnson, his speedy wide receiver on the outside, and then Wigman does his thing to get in the end zone. What a night for Connor Wigman.
Wigman's touchdown set up by the long pass to Stephon Johnson. Boogie Johnson, they played together way back when on that 14 and under flag football team. Couple of Houston area guys, both transfers, both came back home, and both making an impact tonight.
What a night he is having.
Wigman on the game, 15 of 24, 222. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns. He set a career high in rushing yards. Johnson with a career high in receiving yards. Meanwhile, Colorado's offense hasn't even been 0 in the 2nd half. Negative yardage offensively. And they get a spark from Gibson. Ran into his own man as we check into Paul.
You know, Anish, Connor's dad, Chad, was a linebacker at Sam Houston State, and on that staff was Willie Fritz, who was a hard-nosed coach who knew ball. And it's a full circle moment for Connor now playing for Coach Fritz. And Connor told me he has some of his dad's linebacker aggression in him and some competitiveness, which he picked up in Little League when his dad was his coach. But he is a very, very efficient runner, Andre.
No, there's no doubt about it. I don't know that I didn't know he had that kind of shake in his game and the ability to make plays with his legs, but it brings an added dimension to this Cougar offense.
That's a short completion.
to Michael Welch. Meanwhile, Willie Fritz, that's a mean mustache.
Hey, how about that? I tell you, I was watching him. He covers he goes down with all the special teams, and he's got a megaphone, because you saw the interview he did with Cart. Barely could talk, so he's got that megaphone.
Taylor pinballs his way for first down.
And then he covers with the punt team and the kickoff team. He's running down, screaming instructions, which is how he keeps himself in shape. Now, going back to that kind of 2-minute offense that Ryan Staub had some success in, throwing the ball.
They're just getting rid of it quickly.
Yeah.
Pitch and catch, Hakeem Williams. These next 10+ minutes become big for Staub, because if this Colorado team doesn't find a way to finish strong, the quarterback questions
not going to go away.
Get even louder this week.
Exactly right. Do you go back to Salter? Do you give Julian Lewis, who is highly recruited, does he get a shot and a chance?
High snap. Welch wrestled down in the backfield. That's Latrell McCutcheon. We saw last week how well he played the run with 11 tackles.
Yeah, just sick last week, and then a willing tackler. You know, he's a guy he only goes about 185 pounds at 6'1". You don't think that he should not be taking on backs the way he does, but tell you what, he is not afraid, and he is a willing tackler coming up and run support.
Colorado 4 for 11 on third down. Throw to the outside. It skips on Draylon Miller. It is fourth down. Now, when we talked to Deion Sanders, we asked him about how he will manage the quarterback position. Caden Salter was a coveted transfer.
Yeah.
Took Liberty to the Fiesta Bowl 2 years ago. You mentioned Juju Lewis, one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school. Staub, not a big-time recruit, but he was the guy who stayed, who Deion felt had earned this chance with leadership and knowledge.
Players responding to him, and just hadn't been his night tonight.
On fourth down, Staub running in circles. Just tries to shovel it away. That's a turnover on downs. Corey Platt, who played for Willie Fritz at Tulane with the pressure.
Platt missed last season with an injury, but boy, does he show some speed as a linebacker and able to track down Ryan Staub. The Cougars with this one, 9:33 left, still ahead.
we check out tonight's Capital One rewarding performance.
Yeah, it's Connor Wigman doing damage with his legs, breaking big runs, showing toughness down towards the goal line to get in the end zone, and then dropping dimes out of the sky to the speedy Stephon Johnson. Wigman as well with a nice touchdown run, shaking 2 defenders to do it. Boy, he has had some ball game this evening.
He and Dean Connors, who got the call on that carry, have combined for around 150 yards rushing. This Houston offense, which a year ago was one of the worst in the country. Think about it. They averaged 14 points a game. The only team that was worse, winless Kent State. They ranked near the bottom in passing yards. They averaged less than 300 yards per game, 416 tonight in their Big 12 opener. It speaks to how far they've come in year 2 already under Willie Fritz.
Well, no doubt. And then Slade Nagel coming back and reuniting himself with Coach Fritz. Well, that's been so far so good. And then on the other side of the football, Austin Armstrong, he is dialing them up on defense as well. So it's been a nice couple of hires, 2 new coordinators for the Cougars.
And Connors, part of the transfer portal haul. Connors, Koziel coming from Ball State, where he was one of the top tight ends. Obviously, the quarterback, Wigman, and up front on the offensive line. That's been impressive tonight. They took some hits with injuries up front and have still been able to control the line of scrimmage.
Official stop play for the play clock to reset itself.
Meanwhile, Colorado was very upfront with us. This is a team still searching for its identity. It was Shador and Travis Hunter the last 2 years, all-time players.
Well, do you want to throw it, or do you want to be a running team? And, you know, with the play of the offensive line, it's got to pick itself up. If tonight is any indication of what they want to become, it all starts in the trenches.
Connors is going to be close.
Very close.
4th down.
What do you do?
At this point, do you just line up and go for it?
I think so. With a 4th and short, with a lead, at worst, you pin Colorado down deep if they don't pick it up. But they've had so much success with Connor Wigman on the quarterback sneaks that I would go that route. Going to the right side of the formation, getting some pretty good push when he does it.
Tonight, the first time in 21 games, Houston has cracked 400 yards of total offense.
They're going to be forced to spend a timeout here with the play clock running down.
And they do call a timeout. 7:02 left. 21 straight games without 400 yards of total offense had been the longest active streak in the FBS. Great note from statistician Russ DeLynn. Now the other question for Colorado, which again has become the national lightning rod in many ways. Deion Sanders has brought a lot of attention, a lot of money into the program. But going forward, do you give Ryan Staub another shot next week? Is this a time down 3 scores next offensive possession? Do you see what you have in Juju Lewis? You know, a lot of coaches would not have the gumption to start a Ryan Staub because you're afraid guys may leave, guys may check out.
Not Prime, not Coach Prime. I mean, he believes in the next man up philosophy, and I think Staub will get another start.
You do?
I do, next week, because the team just, you know, they react to him, but he's got really nothing around him, and the offensive line hadn't played well. These receivers outside of Marion Miller really hadn't given him a whole lot to throw to.
Connors on 4th down.
Ooh, that's going to blow close. That kind of stopped with the initial contact. And this may be a generous spot. So they're going to have to measure this baby. I think it may be short here. Just couldn't get quite the push they were getting early. short.
And just short. So Colorado gets it back. Now the question for the Buffaloes. They have been outgained in the second half, 196-5.
And it's still Staub at quarterback.
What do you want to see offensively?
You know, when quarterbacks struggle or offenses struggle, I like to see what they were doing at the end of the first half, which is just go no huddle. It kind of takes the thinking out of it for everyone. We discussed that at that particular time, but it allows the quarterback to just get up to the line of scrimmage and run plays. Receivers are basically going back to their same spot, so you're not worried about a play call or if the guy's going in motion on time and things of that sort. You're just playing, and that's when they had their best success with Ryan Staub on the field.
Staub empties it out, quick throw, and that is a catch. Draylon Miller. It also feels that Deion Sanders wants to give Staub the opportunity here to see this thing through.
He really does, and to this point, I mean, he could have tried something. I thought when they put together those last couple of drives in the first half, that's what kept him in the game. Had they not scored there, we might have witnessed a change at quarterback.
Staub lost the football. Now just has to fall on it. It's been that kind of day for Colorado. It's going to bring up 3rd and long inside the 10.
If you played the position, you've done this, where you take it back to throw it and it just comes out of your hand for no reason onto the turf. If you haven't had it happen to you as a quarterback, just wait. It's going to happen.
Travis Hunter's in Jacksonville. Jimmy Horns with the Panthers. Weaver with the Cardinals. Wester with the Ravens. Simeon Price back across the original line of scrimmage.
Middle screen, and I really like this Simeon Price kid. He brings an element of explosiveness to the offense. He's excellent in pass protection. A little bit bigger than the other backs, and he's got some speed. He hit that run for a touchdown. I mean, there wasn't a red jersey in sight. So you're trying to find a rhythm offensively. That's a guy that I would go forward with at running back.
On 4th down. Staub chased. He'll run for it. He's got the first and much more. But a flag is down in the backfield.
This one could be coming back. Although the officials look like they're pointing towards the Cougars.
It's a gain of 29 on the play.
Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty can be added to the end of the play. 1st down.
That is Latravion McCutcheon, the brother of cornerback Latrell McCutcheon.
On the outside, working against Xavier Hill. And just in his attempt to pass rush, kind of gets that left hand up around the face mask.
77, the left tackle for Colorado, Jordan Seaton. Not an easy man to get around.
He's going to play in the NFL a long time. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
So 1st down in Houston territory after the long run and penalty. A shot downfield incomplete for Sincere Brown. Brown had a 100-yard game against Delaware last week. Had a 1,000-yard season for Campbell last year. And prior to that, 1 catch in his first 4 collegiate seasons between Campbell and USF.
And Zelmar Vetter, experienced corner and transfer from Sacramento State. He's got a nice high five from the head coach. That'll always make you feel good with his coverage.
Not a lot downfield for Staub. He'll take another shot in traffic and caught by Joseph Williams for a touchdown.
Oh, what a throw by Staub. That's kind of what this offense has been waiting on. Again, Joseph Williams on the other end of it. They move him around a lot. He can play inside, he can play outside, but it's the eyes with Staub looking left and then putting that one right out in front where Williams can run right under it. Well, that's throwing the football right there.
Colorado will go for 2 if they get it. They're down a field goal and a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. Staub on the move, hit, and it's dropped by Jalen Garner.
Well, you got to throw it somewhere. I mean, it doesn't do you any good to hold on to it. Just put it up in whatever matchup you think you have an advantage. You got to get the ball out of your hands. You cannot take a sack in this situation. Just let that baby go somewhere back of the end zone. Try to get it to Williams in the corner, but you can't eat it.
That touchdown pass to Joseph Williams, the first touchdown pass allowed by Houston in 3 games. Let's get a check on Dickinson High School. Andre Ware's alma mater. How about a second half comeback by Dickinson?
Gators, baby, G-A-T-A. Coming back, it's down at halftime. They come back, now they lead 35-21 in Legacy. Boy, Keyshawn Henderson just putting it on tonight, 68-0.
This Houston
South
program.
Lake Carroll, that's a pretty good program as well.
Had a few guys, right?
No
They've
doubt
had a
about
few
it.
guys.
No doubt about it.
I think we saw Denton Geyer on there too.
Yeah.
Another one. Friday night in H-Town.
Dickinson ranked 6th, I saw this week in the greater Houston area.
Now, do they still run the wing tee, or has that changed?
Nah, they're more of a spread team now. There's onside kick here.
Onside kick, and that did not go 10 yards.
I was wondering if he would play this series by kicking it off and then using the timeouts to score and then the onside kick, but he elects to go for it or use it or attempt it right here.
Now, Andre, I'm not sure there's a lot of faith they can get Houston off the field with a 3 and out.
5-yard penalty for Scott down.
You got to think, though, that you can, no matter what. And you pull your guys together and tell them, hey, we need a stop here. Your best effort of the night to get off the field, but we try to go early with the onside kick, a little earlier than I thought.
200+ rushing yards for the Cougars. Wigman running behind his tight end McGarry for a gain of a couple.
Might get away from that a little bit with a 13-point lead. It may be in the belly of Dean Connors from here to the house just to keep the clock running. And I dare not put it in the air in this situation if you're the Cougars. Bleed as much of this clock as you possibly can. When Coach Prime's going to start taking those timeouts.
If you get a stop here, you might think about it.
I thought he would call one with that minimal gain right there.
There's Dean Connors. Drags Jeremiah Brown. And now a timeout by Coach Prime. 3rd down, 3:45 to go.
Colorado.
Well, they need a turnover in the worst way and a quick score. But this young man, Dean Connors, he's had some night. Well, there on the option, getting to the corner, a big first down when they needed it. Was looking to throw there, but he pulls it down and decides to run it in. And then just following blockers, just tough getting himself to the end zone. He has had some night himself helping out his quarterback, Connor Wigman.
Dean Connors, 20 carries, 85 yards, a rushing touchdown. Also has a couple of receptions. A guy who has played in 4 different offenses in the last 4 years.
If you're Houston, do you just keep this on the ground?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. You don't put Connor Wigman in harm's way, and you don't, allow for an interception or a turnover to happen. Just run the football here. It's look like quarterback power.
Wigman will run, and he's dropped at the 31. Colorado uses another timeout. One left. It's going to be 4th down.
Coaches were telling us, Slade Nagel, the jump that Connor Wigman made from spring practice to fall camp was tremendous. The work that he put in over the summer and then the fall camp that he had there was a huge jump in his play. Didn't really know what they had after spring practice, but when they got into fall camp, they knew exactly who he was.
4th down and 3. Let's see if Houston brings the offense back out or elects to kick. They get a bye, and they need it to get healthy, especially up front. And then they're back on Friday night. In a couple of weeks, they go all the way out to Oregon State before returning to Big 12 play against a Texas Tech team. You talk about a team that was unafraid to spend some money, invest in their program.
Been whipping people the last couple of weeks.
And they brought in some guys. Sanchez will come on for a field goal. This is from 49. 4 for 5 tonight. His lone miss from 50. He is hit from as far as 52. And this kick is good. 5 field goals for Ethan Sanchez. It's still a 2-score game. Colorado needs a couple of touchdowns and a couple of 2-point conversions, but only 1 timeout, plus the 2-minute timeout, and 3:34 to go on the game clock.
They need it to happen. The first part of that scenario to happen in a hurry. But we've seen teams come back where you think it's over, and then all of a sudden you're in a game.
Now listen, at 33-14, now Colorado looked lifeless. But what did Deion Sanders tell us? I cry every time I watch Rudy. I love underdogs, and it's part of the reason he feels such affection for Ryan Staub.
Yeah.
This was not a ballyhooed recruit. It was a guy who came in, was basically Shedeur Sanders' right hand for a couple of years. His caddy watched him, learned from him, and Deion told us if Ryan Staub had come to me in the offseason and said, hey, you brought in 2 other quarterbacks, I want to leave, Coach Prime said I would have helped him to go find another spot, but that conversation never happened. Staub wanted to stay. That in itself is such a rarity in 2025.
Yeah, it's a big-time rarity where guys just stick it out at one program that you sign on with. Usually it's 2-3 transfers that we're talking about.
Gibson from his own goal line. Across the 35, out across the 40.
Young man's a good kick returner.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to sacrifice your body, and it's exactly what Quentin Gibson's done tonight. Just a true freshman. He's going to be some player.
He got the start week 1 against Georgia Tech, the only true freshman to start for Colorado. 2,000+ receiving yards as a high school senior.
Wow.
So Staub back to work. He has not had the benefit of a consistent running game tonight. Sincere Brown, the motion man. Pressure coming off the edge. Taylor picked up the blitz. Now trying to get it to Taylor. It's off his body. And that is incomplete. Took a while to get the whistle, but that was a pass and a forward pass.
Just continuing. Austin Armstrong, the DC, continuing to bring pressure. Is Rook Brown off the edge and out of the secondary. It's able to get home there. He just ran through the block of Taylor, the back that was in the game at that time.
Brown split snaps with Stampley, who left the game with an injury.
thrown a little bit behind, but caught by Sincere Brown. First down in Houston territory at the 46.
It's a great catch.
13.
Nice sliding catch by Brown, who we thought would have a bigger role in this.
And the nickel blitz. Staub evading the pursuit. Was he across the line of scrimmage? Sincere Brown makes the catch, tripped up shy of the 20 by Will James.
Boy, he was awfully close to the line of scrimmage. He's trying to get a play run here.
I'm surprised they're not at least looking at this. It was awfully close. And they might have already looked at it upstairs. And now we'll get the stoppage.
An official look to see if Ryan Staub indeed crossed the line of scrimmage.
Play under review. The ruling with the quarterback at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, the whole body has to be across the line of scrimmage. What do you see?
That's exactly right. If the trail foot is still in the neutral zone, then it's a good pass. In this case, he's definitely from that view, he's definitely beyond.
This should be a quick review. That black line that you saw.
Both feet were across. And that the look that we just got a chance to see. You see the efficiency in which Staub plays with when it's just kind of 2-minute offense. I think that's where he flourishes, and you start the game giving him a little bit of that to get him settled in, and then you back off and go to the huddle where he's breaking the huddle and seeing things.
And Andre, what you often hear from coaches, 2-minute offense, third downs, those are your best plays.
Yes. He seems to execute there, but when he's, you know, orchestrating out of the huddle, back up to the line of scrimmage, processing what the defense is wanting to do, just a little bit too much between the ears going on for me.
As a QB in that situation, when you know you're creeping toward the line of scrimmage, are there landmarks you use? How do you sort of figure your orientation?
You're trying to find, you know, the chains or something you've seen at pre-snap read when you start scrambling like that, but sometimes you just don't, you lose track of it trying to make a play, especially being down and you're trying to score quickly.
They are looking at this a long time. David Alvarez looks like he has his answer.
Maybe where he stepped across.
After the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage at the 45.5-yard line, there will be a 5-yard penalty from that spot, loss of down, second down from that spot.
So this will back up Colorado.
Colorado needing a big play here, and they've gotten a few from Joseph Williams, Omarion Miller. You got to figure those two would be in play here, though I don't see Miller on the field.
Joseph Williams had the long 37-yard touchdown reception. Staub tonight, 19 out of 34, 204 through the air, a touchdown and a pick.
We're just resetting the chains to make sure they're correct. It will be second down and 14.5 yards.
And Finally, it looks like the chain gang is in order. 2:31 left. Colorado's got the 1 timeout plus the 2-minute timeout. Again, more pressure. It's the corner blitz by James. Staub will tug and escapes out of bounds. No gain on the play. 3rd and long.
Boy, they are continuing to bring pressure. There it's Fotu. Sione Fotu out of Utah, the transfer from Utah. He's able to get some pretty good pressure on Staub.
We've seen a lot of blitzes from the slot, from the corners. And another whistle before the snap as we come to the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes remain in regulation. Houston looking to go to 1-0 in the Big 12. All right, SVP, thank you. Colorado's got a big challenge. Our big challenge will be getting Andre out of the building after the game. Staub takes a shot downfield. That's going to be intercepted. Rook Brown has some room to run and slides down shy of the 35. A 40-yard return. The second interception by this Houston secondary.
Rook Brown just playing deep, and his safety position, kind of reading the eyes of Ryan Staub, and he launches one up. Miscommunication with he and Joseph Williams, or was badly underthrown, and then Rook Brown making him pay for it. You know, the Cougars again setting up their offense in Buffalo territory.
Yeah, that second half graphic sums it up. Colorado struggled offensively first 3 series of the second half.
That time of possession, just ridiculous.
It was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They had 9 plays for negative yards, and Houston's opening drive of the third quarter, 8.5 minutes, 17 plays. That just set the tone. That third quarter, Andre, Colorado runs all of 5 plays, and you brought it up. Hard to get into a rhythm when you're not on the field offensively.
Yeah, when the other team just kind of keeps the ball and they're playing keep away, and I think they had it, Houston had it for over 12 minutes, which is just unbelievable. I was once involved in a game where Navy had it for over 14 minutes in the Emerald Bowl years ago, and it overlapped from one quarter to the next. Made our flights that day easily.
That was a tidy 3-hour game.
Yeah, they helped us out big time.
Stacy Snead bounces to the outside. Wrapped up by Byard, third down.
He is an impressive young defensive back. Byard, he has had some game tonight.
What did we learn about Houston tonight?
Well, they're deeper than we thought, and certainly better, obviously, than a year ago. I mean, they're going to be, after this game, they're going to come 1 game shy of their win total last year. They can run the football, too. 209 yards rushing, and they've got a quarterback in Connor Wigman.
What about Colorado? Where do they go from here? Because that's going to be a hot topic nationally.
Where do they go? Do they make a change again at quarterback? I doubt it. I think they go with Staub again next week. But, you know, Coach Prime talks about being in the now. He's got to check the pulse of this team to see who they're reacting to at that particular position.
A wire-to-wire win for Houston. They start 1-0 in conference play, 3-0 on the season. Heading into their bye week, Colorado now 1-2. For Andre Ware and Paul Carcaterra, I'm Anish Shroff. So long from H-Town. It's time for Sports Center with SVP.